So we're in the capital today. We've got Tam here and some guys from the Scottish Libertarian Party. They've actually been sharing a lot of the stuff with the Freedom Movement recently. It's actually, we're quite neutral on the page, but it's a party that I've quite liked in the past. So how's things going with the party? Would you feel like it's growing?
Well, the party has certainly grown since its inception. It's growing. It grew massively actually during the lockdown, and then that's kind of slowed down a bit again. But we are putting candidates up in the local elections this year, so hopefully that will reap some results.
Do you think the recent situation is it's made people ask a lot of questions to themselves, and it's kind of bringing them towards your sort of way of
I think it's made
thinking?
A lot of people ask questions about government and the authoritarian nature of government. However, I think now that COVID's supposedly gone away, I think a lot of people have went back to sleep again, and now it's just been replaced by the whole Ukrainian thing. The same people who were aware that their government were lying to them over COVID now seem to think the government's not lying to them anymore.
Yeah, I've been thinking that we've not really addressed the relationship between the government and individuals, which is really the big issue. Why is it you think that some people just aren't bothered about how much authority government has? Is it something to do with Scotland, or is it like a British trend, or...?
I think basically what's wrong is it's a Scottish. I think it's a Scottish thing, but a British thing in general. People won't actually move until they think it affects them directly, and people don't see how these things threaten them. They don't see how vaccine passports are a gateway to something else. They don't see how mask wearing is conditional to accept other infringements on their freedom. They don't see that connection yet, and things haven't tightened enough. It would need to get worse before it gets better. Before they understand that.
We've got Robert in the background. It's a wee bit loud. So, in terms of the Parliament, how is things looking for are you running the council elections?
Yeah, I'll be running for Inverleith, which is in Edinburgh ward. Daniel here will be in Midlothian South.
Pleased to meet you.
Gregor will be in Fountainbridge, I believe.
Either that or back after, it depends on when I come back. I will write myself.
Okay, we'll go for Fountainbridge for the time being. We've got another candidate in Drumbrae and Gale. There should be around 6-7 candidates in Edinburgh alone, and maybe about 20-25 throughout Scotland.
So what would you say to somebody that's on the fence about thinking Libertarian, who maybe thinks, well, the Tories aren't too keen on the passport, so they're okay? What would your pitch be to sort of maybe middle ground, or people that are against it but are kind of not sure which way to swing?
Well, look, as long as you keep voting for it. I mean, I try not to tell people what to vote, right? There are a few parties out there who are not mainstream who get this, and I'm happy for MD. I'm happy for people to vote Monster, Raven, Looney, as long as it's not the mainstream. The mainstream parties colluded in doing this. They colluded in creating the lockdown situation and all the infringements and civil liberties that go with that. It's the Conservative Party who are bringing in, trying to bring in controls on the internet through the online safety bill. So any party other than the mainstream is good, and as long as you don't buy the line that your vote's a wasted vote unless you vote for the guy who wins, which is completely insane. You have to send a message to these people. You've got to kick them where it hurts, and that's votes. So when they see the votes siphoning away to smaller, non-mainstream parties, it makes them sit up and take notice. So get out and vote, but don't vote for a mainstream party. Vote for an alternative that actually that agrees with principles of freedom and free speech.
And if you could sum up roughly how important it is to stay away from these parties in maybe a sentence, what would you how far do you think this could go if we let the pressure off now?
Yeah, I think if you let the pressure off now, the government will see that you've gone back to sleep. Even while this Ukrainian thing is going on, they are sneaking legislation through parliaments as we speak. And before you know it, you're going to wake up and the freedoms that people fought for years, for centuries, are going to be gone. So educate yourself, get online, don't take everything at face value online, that's true, but at least get away from the mainstream and explore other avenues, explore other sources of information.
And you've got quite a strong social media presence as well, don't you? You have Facebook, and I've seen a Twitter.
Facebook, for a while there we were on Instagram, and what else were we on? We were on Telegram as well. So yeah, check us out. Check us out at www.scottishlibertarians.com. Check our Twitter feed at #ScottLibertarian, and just follow what we're saying.
Well, brilliant. Well, thanks for the time, Tam, and thanks for standing up for what you stand up for. Like we say, the page is neutral in everything, but obviously a lot of the principles do cross over, so thanks for stepping up when not a lot of parties would. We need this to happen. I think we need people on the side of freedom, so thanks for standing the local ones, guys, and really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.